When a job is hard to fill, an employer can raise that position's salary. This accomplishes two things. One, it increases recruitment. Two, it increases retention. This is not a new concept. It's been happening for over 100 years. Job seekers are typically interested in jobs that have high pay and good benefits. Now, in the federal government, this can be done a few different ways. Number one, you have a recruitment incentive. You also have a retention incentive. And then there's SSR, which is the special salary rate. This increases a person's salary by around 15 to 20%. So imagine you're making $100,000 a year. What does that mean? That means an extra $15,000 to $20,000 a year. That can help out with rent. That can make a car payment. That can help out with groceries. It changes people's lives in a lot of situations. So SSR was created by Congress in the 1990s. And the VA, the Veterans Affairs, they decided to use it so they could leverage more pay to compete for higher quality talent. They did this specifically in 2023. Now, they were doing it with their medical positions before 2023, but in 2023, we had the PACT Act. This initiative expanded healthcare to almost 1 million additional veterans that were not receiving healthcare, people that were exposed to toxic fumes. So, because of this initiative, they needed to hire a lot more medical professionals. Who helps out with the hiring? You need a strong HR office. The same could be said if you're downsizing. HR is a critical component, and IT to help with modernization. IT was needed as well. So now what the VA is doing, or what they've done, in June, they took SSR away from their HR positions. What they're doing now is they're removing it from their IT professionals. So this impacts about 7,000 positions. What the VA is saying, and what other agencies might end up saying, is we can pay our people less and we will not suffer. We will not suffer from the talent leaving. That's what they're saying. Now, the VA is also saying that nobody right now is going to suffer a pay cut. So what's going to end up happening is for these positions in the future, as people are getting hired, their position will not have SSR. The people that have SSR right now, they're going to do something called like pay retention. So if you're like a GS11 step 2, and for you to make that same money with SSR removed, you might be a GS11 step 6 now, or something like that, depending on the situation. But the big message is no one's going to suffer a pay cut. But what you will have in the near future is you're going to have two people in the same office at the same grade. They're going to be earning different money because you're going to have that legacy employer, that legacy employee that has SSR that's getting paid 20% more than their coworker, than their colleague right next to them. With SSR gone, some people are saying retention is going to take a hit, recruitment's going to take a hit. An interesting thing, if you look at the workforce, if you look at political alignment, let's say, people with an IT background, with a strong cybersecurity IT background, they tend to lean slightly left on the political spectrum, meaning that they might not be as eager to join a Trump administration. Now, I'm not saying there's no conservative IT folks. Of course, there are. Look at Doge. There's a lot of conservative people in Doge, I would imagine. But I'm saying that it's not typical, so it's harder to pull for the talent. Government right now is already kind of in a bad space, in a bad place when it comes to trying to attract IT people to work for the federal government. How do I know this? Go on usajobs.gov. We're in a hiring freeze right now, but there's still over 200 positions open. Not just open, a lot of them are using direct hiring authority. So that's how you know they're not even considering veteran preference. They're trying to expedite the hiring process. Some of them even have what you call recruitment incentives. So they're hurting for IT folks. And you go ahead and you pull SSR. I mean, we understand that you're trying to reduce the spending, but doing it in this way could end up hurting. The question will be, if you're able to hire and fill the IT positions that you have, will it be with the most qualified? Will it be with highly qualified individuals, or will they just be decent or good enough? Because the private sector is getting the high quality candidate. They're paying more. A recent study showed that the pay gap, when you're looking at the IT field, the pay gap is 66% from public sector to private sector. And removing SSR, it seems counterintuitive at this moment. Now, what about the other agencies? People use SSR in other agencies as well. It's just the VA has been very aggressive with recent SSR implementation, but you have other agencies. They've used it in the past for 2210 IT specialists, 1550 computer science. They've used it for medical professionals. They might continue to do it for those individuals. But will other agencies look at this as a sign, an indicator? This is what they should do. This is what appeases the administration. This is the direction the government is heading in. And will they also strip their SSRs? Now, how permanent is this move? Well, this move can be easily reversed like a lot of moves that we're seeing in 2025. Envision another administration coming in that's more, let's say, pro-federal workforce. You can see a lot of these things going back to the way they were, or even moving in a direction that benefits the federal worker. Now, if you're concerned about SSR, or if you're concerned about the pay raise, if you're not in law enforcement in the federal workforce, your pay raise is going to be very small. If you're concerned about that, one of the best things that you can do is just try to get your promotion. That's like the biggest pay increase that you could possibly get, for a lot of folks. And what I see all too often is people wait forever to apply for their promotion. They're just dragging their heels. A decade or more passes, and you're at the same GS grade because you didn't bother to apply for your promotion. Or if you did, you only did it a couple of times, and you weren't that persistent with it. So that's going to probably represent the largest pay increase you can do right now. In addition to that, we're seeing some disturbing news when it comes to telework. So return to office mandate, everybody came back into the federal buildings, except for some folks that were remote work. They were hired without the expectation of ever coming into an office. Now, these individuals, a lot of them, they had reasonable accommodations. So reasonable accommodations, one of the categories you could use for that was telework or remote work. It didn't have to be permanent, it could be temporary. But what we're seeing is an agency, a big one, that's now saying it's no longer allowed. It cannot be used as a reasonable accommodation. So it's only a matter of time before other agencies could potentially follow suit. If you're interested in that, check this video out next. Stay updated by signing up to the free newsletter down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.